whatever has caused the damage results in essentially mitochondria becoming sick and damaged within the cells that produce dopamine in the substantia nigra pars compacta. That results in not only impaired dopamine production, but it can also result in premature cell death of those cells in that region. And once those cells are gone, they don't come back. So one of the things that's a key hallmark of mitochondrial damage, regardless of the cell type we're talking about, is that there's a release or an increased production of what's called reactive oxidative species, or ROS. Now, obviously, oxidative species are released quite commonly in the body, but at an excessive level, ROS causes a lot of problems and essentially results in cell damage and death. We've all heard the hype about oxidative stress, but it really is a real thing that is a concerning factor, and especially since it's linked with so many issues related to Parkinson's disease, it's really worth the time to focus on oxidative stress as a potential issue in Parkinson's disease and how we could make that better. You might ask, why is this area of the brain particularly susceptible to all this reactive oxygen species being released and all this oxidative stress? Well, one thing that I read that's a possible explanation is that reactive oxygen species tend to result from stress. It could be external stress, such as toxins. It could be other stressors, just general stress on the body. But something else that is important to remember about the nigrostriatal cells in the substantia nigra of the brain, those dopamine-producing cells, that area is an extremely high traffic area. So those signals are traveling through that part of the brain at rapid fire almost constantly, because so many bodily functions, they just depend on dopamine, and movements regulated in that area, coordination of movement and so forth, all that. It's just a high volume, high traffic area. Those neurons are firing all the time. So one theory that I've come across is that there's such a high traffic, high volume area that area of the brain is always taxed and stressed, and so it kind of naturally lends itself towards more reactive oxygen species, just because the mitochondria are always working overtime. And if you add environmental toxins, exposures, and stresses on top of that, it can make it even worse and potentially lead to that idiopathic or development from causes outside of genetic causes. As we talked about in the previous video, there are genetic links to Parkinson's disease, as well as folks that get Parkinson's disease with no known genetic cause. But in either case, you could have someone with genetic predisposition to Parkinson's that has the genes turned on by some environmental or external stressors. You could also, in turn, have somebody that does not have the genetic link to Parkinson's have those same exposures and perhaps have cell damage done, mitochondrial damage done due to those exposures or those stresses, and that induces the disease process. Regardless of which case we're talking about, the reactive oxygen species released from those cells would be higher even under normal circumstances, regardless of damage done by external factors.